Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Nishit Kumar and with me is Nabunita Adhikari with the evening news. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to participate in the National Panchayati Raj Day in Jammu and Kashmir tomorrow, to address all Gram Sabhas of the country on the occasion. Prime Minister to share his thoughts in his Mann Ki Baat program tomorrow morning. The first Lata Dinanath Mangeshkar Award to be conferred on Mr. Modi in Mumbai tomorrow evening. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh says India will not hesitate to cross borders if it is targeted by terrorists from outside. I&B Ministry issues advisory to private news channels to refrain from making false claims and using scandalous headlines. Country registers nearly 6% growth in steel production with 31.9 million tons during January to March this year. In Asian Wrestling Championships, Indian grapplers win 1 gold, 2 silver and 2 bronze medals. And in IPL cricket, Gujarat Titans beat Kolkata Knight Riders by 8 runs at Navi, Mumbai. Second match underway between Royal Challengers Bangalore and Sunrisers Hyderabad at Brabant Stadium, Mumbai. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir tomorrow to participate in the celebrations of National Panchayati Raj Day. On the occasion, he will address all the Gram Sabhas across the country and will also visit Palli Panchayat in Samba district. The Prime Minister will also inaugurate and lay the foundation stone of multiple development initiatives worth around 20,000 crore rupees in the Union Territory. He will inaugurate the Banihal-Kazigund Road Tunnel, built at a cost of over 3,100 crore rupees. The 8.45 kilometer long tunnel will reduce the road distance between Banihal and Kazigund by 16 kilometers and reduce the journey time by around 1.5 hours. The Prime Minister will also lay the foundation stone of 3 road packages of Delhi-Amritsar Cataract Expressway being built at a cost of over 7,500 crore rupees. He will also launch the Amrit Sarovar initiative. It is aimed at developing and rejuvenating 75 water bodies in each district of the country. Following constitutional reforms in Jammu and Kashmir in August 2019, the government has launched several welfare schemes for the better governance and improvement in the lives of people. In an exclusive interview with All India Radio, retired IAS officer and political analyst KB Jandial said the government has won the trust of people, created employment opportunities and opened new doors of possibilities.
संवैधानिक जो एक्शन लिया गया उससे जम्मू कश्मीर को भारत के साथ एक इमोशनल इंटीग्रेशन जो हो गई वो पहले 70 साल में बहुत कमी पाई जाती थी और इसका प्रभाव एक हुआ कि जो भारत विरोधी शक्तियां थी उनके हौसला पस्त हो गए। अब उनको ये लगने लगा कि हमारी पॉलिटिक्स जो है वो जारी देर चलने वाली नहीं है और उससे भी अच्छा ये हो गया कि जो हमारे डेवलपमेंट प्रोसेस था, विकास की गतिविधि जो थी वो इतनी बढ़ गई कि 2-3 सालों में इतना कुछ हो गया कि जो 70 साल में नहीं हो पाया। तो मेरा ख्याल है कुल मिला के ये बहुत ही एक महत्वपूर्ण और हिस्टोरिक कदम उठाया गया, वो हम सबके लिए बहुत अच्छा लगा।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will share his thoughts with the people in the country and abroad in the Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio at 11 a.m. tomorrow. It will be the 88th episode of the monthly radio program. The program will be broadcast on the entire network of All India Radio and Doordarshan, All India Radio News website and News On Air mobile app. It will also be streamed live on YouTube channels of All India Radio News, DD News, PMO and Information and Broadcasting Ministry. AIR will broadcast the program in regional languages immediately after the Hindi broadcast. The regional language versions will also be repeated at 8 p.m. The Prime Minister will attend the Master Dinanath Mangeshkar Award ceremony in Mumbai at around 5 p.m. tomorrow. On the occasion, Mr. Modi will be conferred the first Lata Dinanath Mangeshkar Award. The award ceremony will be held in Mumbai tomorrow, which marks the 80th death anniversary of late Master Dinanath Mangeshkar. This award has been instituted in memory of Bharat Ratna Lata Mangeshkar, who passed away in February this year. The award will be given annually to a person who has made a path-breaking spectacular and exemplary contribution to the nation and its people.
Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has said that India will not hesitate to cross borders if it is targeted by terrorists from outside. The Defence Minister was addressing a program in Guwahati today in honour of the war heroes of 1971 Bangladesh Liberation War. Mr. Singh said northeastern states are developing rapidly due to peace and tranquility on the Indo-Bangladesh border.
पिछले लगभग 3 वर्षों से रक्षा मंत्री के रूप में मैं अपनी जिम्मेदारी का निर्वाह कर रहा हूं और इस बार जो इंडो चाइना स्टैंड ऑफ रहा है उसमें अपने सेना के जवानों की शौर्य और पराक्रम को मैंने देखा है और मेरा यह भरोसा पक्का हुआ है दुनिया की कितनी भी बड़ी क्यों न ताकत हो हमारी भारत माता का मस्तक दुनिया की कोई ताकत झुका नहीं सकती.
The Defence Minister said armed forces never wanted the Armed Forces Special Power Act AFSPA in any state, and it is the situation which compels its imposition. He said AFSPA is being withdrawn from the areas where ground situation has improved. Mr. Singh also said that India, which used to be the importer of defence products, is now exporting them to various countries. He informed India has set the target to export 35,000 crore rupees of defence products by 2024-25. Speaking on the occasion, Assam Chief Minister Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma said that people of Assam played an important role during the 1971 Bangladesh Liberation War and extended help to the Mukti Bahini and shelter to the people. The Assam Chief Minister informed that his government has decided to increase the ex gratia for the armed forces personnel who are killed in action to 50 lakh rupees from the 20 lakh rupees and a government job for the family members. He said his government has also decided to give 2% reservation to the ex-servicemen in government jobs. The Assam government today honoured 105 war veterans hailing from Assam for their distinguished services and sacrifices during the 1971 Bangladesh Liberation War. Assam Governor Jagdish Mukhi and India's High Commissioner to Bangladesh Vikram K. Doraiswamy and senior armed forces personnel were present during the program.
The Chief of National Investigation Agency NIA Kuldeep Singh visited encounter site at Jammu's Sunjwa today, where security forces killed 2 Jaish-e-Mohammed Fidain yesterday. NIA chief was accompanied by Inspector General of CRPF, Jammu, who briefed him about the gun battle by CRPF officers. AIR correspondent reports that on Friday evening, a team of the NIA had visited the encounter site and collected first-hand information. The agency is likely to take over the case for a thorough investigation. 2 Jaish-e-Fidain and a CISF officer was killed in the gunfight that took place near Sunjwa military station in Jammu. However, DG Police Dilbagh Singh had said that the 2 Fidain were part of a suicide squad of Pakistan-based Jaish-e-Mohammed and their infiltration could be a big conspiracy to sabotage the Prime Minister's visit to J&K tomorrow. Home Minister Amit Shah has said historians have not given due place to Babu Kunwar Singh in history books. Addressing Vijayotsav celebrations at Jagdishpur in Ara, Mr. Shah said iconic freedom fighter Veer Kunwar Singh defeated Britishers at the age of 80 and his contribution in freedom struggle set a milestone in the country's history.
163 साल पहले 80 साल की उम्र के कुंवर सिंह जी ने क्षेत्र को अंग्रेजों से आजाद करने का काम किया. आज कुंवर सिंह जी को श्रद्धांजलि देने लाखों लाखों लोग चिलचिलाती धूप में आए हैं. मोदी जी ने कल्पना करी 2047 में पूरी दुनिया के सभी देशों की स्पर्धा में हर एक क्षेत्र में भारत नंबर 1 होना चाहिए. यही सच्ची श्रद्धांजलि वीर कुंवर सिंह जी को हो सकती है.
Vijayotsav was organized under the ongoing Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav to make the young generation aware of the heroic deeds of Veer Kunwar Singh and his fight against the British East India Company. Union Home Minister paid tribute to Babu Veer Kunwar Singh on the occasion of Vijay Divas. The minister, along with thousands of people, unfurled tricolour and remembered contribution of Veer Kunwar Singh during freedom struggle. Bihar created world record of simultaneous waving of 77,900 national flags at Jagdishpur on the occasion of Vijayotsav. Previous record of simultaneous waving of 57,632 national flags was set in Pakistan in 2004. You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to participate in the National Panchayati Raj Day in Jammu and Kashmir tomorrow, to address all Gram Sabhas of the country on the occasion. Prime Minister to share his thoughts in his Mann Ki Baat program tomorrow morning. The first Lata Dinanath Mangeshkar Award to be conferred on Mr. Modi in Mumbai tomorrow evening. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh says India will not hesitate to cross borders if it is targeted by terrorists from outside. INB Ministry issues advisory to private news channels to refrain from making false claims and using scandalous headlines. Country registers nearly 6% growth in steel production with 31.9 million tons during January to March this year. In Asian Wrestling Championships, Indian grapplers win 1 gold, 2 silver and 2 bronze medals. And in IPL cricket, Gujarat Titans beat Kolkata Knight Riders by 8 runs at Navi, Mumbai. Second match underway between Royal Challengers Bangalore and Sunrisers Hyderabad at Brabant Stadium, Mumbai. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता।
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर।
8700014242।
Welcome back. You are tuned to the evening news on All India Radio. The Ministry of Information and Broadcasting has advised private TV news channels against making false claims and using scandalous headlines. In a detailed advisory issued today, the ministry has called for adherence to the provisions of the Cable Television Networks Regulation Act. The ministry said in the recent past, several satellite TV channels have carried out coverage of events and incidents in a manner which appears to be unauthentic, misleading, sensational and using socially unacceptable language and remarks. The advisory has cited the Ukraine-Russian conflict and the incidents in the northwest Delhi in particular, where TV news content and debates have been found in violation of the program code. Talking to reporters, Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur has said that the ministry has also issued notices to the TV channels found reporting misleading and unauthentic news.
मित्र देशों से लेकर बाकियों के बारे में भी आधी अधूरी जानकारी और जिस तरह से वो खबरें दिखाई जा रही थी उसके ऊपर मंत्रालय ने उनको नोटिस भी दिया है और भविष्य में ऐसी गलतियां ना हो उसके लिए भी कहा है।
In case of reporting on Ukraine-Russia conflict, the ministry has found channels are making scandalous headlines unrelated to the news items and journalists making unsubstantiated and fabricated claims and using hyperbole to incite audience. The minister said in case of Delhi violence, certain channels have aired news items with provocative headlines and videos of violence that may incite communal hatred among the communities and disrupt peace and law and order. The channels have further fabricated headlines giving communal color to actions of authorities. The ministry has cautioned private TV channels against broadcasting debates having unparliamentary, provocative and socially unacceptable language, communal remarks and derogatory references which may incite communal disharmony and disturb the peace at large.
India's COVID vaccination coverage has crossed 187 crore 65 lakh mark. Health and Family Welfare Ministry said that more than 17 lakh vaccine doses were administered today. The ministry said more than 2 crore 94 lakh vaccine doses have been administered to 12 to 14 years age group so far. In the meantime, over 2 crore 66 lakh precaution doses have been administered to the identified categories of beneficiaries, including healthcare workers, frontline workers and people above 18 years of age. Autoimmune illness symptoms are being seen among the people who have recovered from the COVID infection. Talking to AIR News, Dr. Uma Kumar, Head of Department of Rheumatology at AIIMS, New Delhi, said that after recovering from COVID-19, people are also developing autoimmune illness like rheumatoid arthritis and lupus, which should not be ignored. Dr. Kumar suggested if symptoms like pain and stiffness in joints and dryness in eyes and mouth are seen among the patients, then they should consult the doctor for treatment.
पोस्ट कोविड लोगों में ऑटो इम्यून इलनेसेस भी देखने को मिल रही हैं, जैसे कि रूमेटॉइड आर्थराइटिस, एक प्रकार की वैस्कुलाइटिस विच कॉल्ड एंका एसोसिएटेड वैस्कुलाइटिस, ल्यूपस, शोगरेन सिंड्रोम। लेकिन इन बीमारियों का इलाज दवाओं से संभव है। तो किसी को भी अगर इन बीमारियों से रिलेटेड लक्षण जैसे कि ड्राइनेस ऑफ आईज, ड्राइनेस ऑफ माउथ, जोड़ों में दर्द, आर्थराइटिस यानी कि सूजन, जोड़ों में जकड़न, इंटरमिटेंट फीवर या स्किन में कोई प्रॉब्लम, इस तरह के कुछ भी लक्षण अगर आते हैं तो फिजिशियन से कांटेक्ट करें। अगर रूमेटोलॉजिस्ट अवेलेबल हैं तो रूमेटोलॉजिस्ट से कांटेक्ट करें। कुछ स्पेसिफिक इन्वेस्टिगेशंस कराए जाएंगे और आपकी डायग्नोसिस होने के बाद आपको दवाओं पे शुरू किया जाएगा, क्योंकि ये सारे मल्टी सिस्टम इलनेसेस हैं। दूसरे ऑर्गन पे इनका असर ना आए, इसके लिए बहुत जरूरी है कि टाइम से इनका इलाज शुरू किया जाए।
India has produced 31.9 million tons of steel during January to March this year, with a growth of 5.9%. In March alone, steel production stood at 10.9 million tons with 44.4% growth rate. As per the data released by World Steel Association yesterday, India is the only country among top 10 steel producing nations of the world which has registered growth in steel production in January to March period, as compared to corresponding period last year.
The Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu will inaugurate Khelo India University Games in Bengaluru tomorrow. The Karnataka Sports Minister Dr. Narayana Gowda visited Kanti Rava Indoor Stadium in Bengaluru today to see the final preparations for the inauguration and also the rehearsal of the grand opening. This will be the biggest sporting event post-COVID. Union Sports Minister Anurag Thakur and Governor Thawarchand Gehlot, Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai will be among the guests during the inaugural event. Union Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports Anurag Thakur has said that the second Khelo India University Games KIUG 2021 will begin at Bengaluru in Karnataka from tomorrow. Talking to reporters in New Delhi on the sidelines of a function, Mr. Thakur informed that Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu will inaugurate the 10-day event in the evening. The Union Minister said that KIUG 2021 will witness participation of nearly 3,900 sportspersons from around 190 universities.
So I'm sure this is going to be a great event. We have seen world over that how players use the university platform and they win laurels and medals for their countries and for their universities. And I'm sure this initiative of Prime Minister Modi to promote the sports at university level, at the professional level, is going to help to create a great platform for competitive events.
The News Services Division of All India Radio will bring an interview with Ram Prasad Subedi, Deputy Chief of Mission in the Nepalese Embassy in India. In our Spotlight program, Mr. Subedi talks about various initiatives that the two countries have embarked upon and also stresses on the historical connections that the people of the neighboring countries enjoy.
There is a free flow of friendship, I should say, between Nepal and India. As the rivers flow from north to south, the friendship flows very naturally. And there is natural affinity. If you and I, if we two meet in third country, third capital, wherever, we happen to come close to each other, start talking and sharing. This is a kind of our identity, our strength, our affinity towards each other. This is not today's thing. This dates back to the Ramayana period, even earlier than that. In modern time, every Indian family, maybe across the border, you will see cross-border marriages, family links. Our friendship, we often compare as high as Mount Everest and as deep as Indian Ocean.
You can listen to the interview on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:15 p.m. onwards. All India Radio News is airing a weekly interactive program, Abhyas, aimed at reaching out to students and job seekers preparing for competitive examinations. Listeners can tune into the 4th episode of Abhyas on 100.1 FM Gold at 9:30 p.m. tonight. The topic for this episode is economics. Dr. Mallika Kumar, Associate Professor for Economics at Sri Ram College of Commerce, New Delhi, will be responding for the queries of the aspirants. You can also access the program on Twitter at AIR News Alerts or on AIR official YouTube channel and also on the News on AIR app. The subject for the next episode on April 30th is Sociology. The deadline for submission of questions is 27th of April.
कंपटीशन के की अगर आप कर रहे हैं तैयारी तो उनके लिए ऑल इंडिया रेडियो पर हम लाए हैं अभ्यास, एक ऐसा कार्यक्रम जिसमें आप पूछेंगे सवाल व्हाट्सएप नंबर 9289094044 पर या फिर ईमेल करेंगे abhyas.airnews@gmail.com पर और हमारे विशेषज्ञ देंगे इसका जवाब। आपका अभ्यास हमारा प्रयास।
FSSAI has launched Food Safety Connect app for food business operators and consumers. Download this app from Google Play Store and easily apply for FSSAI registration. Consumer can use this app to register food-related complaints. As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events are being organized by the government as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. To commemorate the occasion as a Jan Utsav, All India Radio News brings its listeners a special quiz on India's freedom movement and its glorious history. The quiz is being conducted every Monday and Tuesday in Morning News. The next question of the quiz will be shared with listeners on Monday, 25th April. And now, let's listen to our special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव।
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News, birth of a nation.
India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
"23rd April is remembered as Kongjam Day in Manipur every year to pay tribute to the war heroes of the Anglo-Manipuri War 1891.
Manipuri people resented British interference in the internal affairs of Manipur. In March 1891, the British Army fired the first shot at Kangla with an objective of arresting Yuvraj Tikendrajit. After the whole day's fighting on the 24th of March, the British declared a ceasefire. A meeting was called at Kangla between the representatives of people and the British administration.
For a darbar to be held, 5 British officers were sent. When the talks failed, the Manipuri people attacked the British delegation. Knowing the serious situation of the British in Manipur, 3 powerful regiments of the British Army were sent via Silchar, Kohima and Tamil. To resist the advancing British column from Tamil, 700 Manipuris were sent to Thoibal under Wang Kherakpa and Yenkhoiba Major.
At this critical time, the Maharaja sent 400 sepoys under the leadership of Pauna Brajbasi and Chongtha Mia Singh to oppose the British forces. But the Manipuri forces were outnumbered and the enemy was superior in arms too. When the war began, powerful British guns had fatal impacts at the fort of Manipur, but the gallant Manipuri warriors fought till their last breath to safeguard the territory and independence of Manipur.
Manipur built 3 defensive places to fight against the invaders. The first one was at Palel, the second at Kakching, and the third was at Kongjam. Many Manipuris, including Pukramba Tanka, Kumbong Subedar, Leizang Jamadar, and Athokpa Diwan, sacrificed their lives. 2 Thankuls were also among those killed in hand-to-hand fight. On the 27th of April 1891, the British forces occupied Kangla. The hero of the battle, Major Pauna Brajbashi, is being honoured by the Manipuris as the epitome of patriotism and bravery.
Till his last breath, he refused to surrender and bravely chose death over serving the British. Among others who fought gallantly in the battle were Major Chongtha Mia, Chinglensana, Khumbong Major, Loitongba Jamadar, Kaisa Jamadar, Heirang Kongja, and many more.
The heroism of the gallant warriors is being passed down through generations in the form of a traditional ballad, Kongjam Parva. Every year, on the 23rd of April, the whole state of Manipur pays homage to those great warriors at the Kongjam War Memorial Complex. The solemn memorial is situated about 35 kilometers south of Imphal in Thoubal district, at the site where the battle was fought between Manipuri and the British. It stands there as a living symbol of the spirit of patriotism and heroism of the Manipuris.
जो मरवानो सीखी ले तो जीवन नो अधिकार तने जो कंटक ने रस्ते चाले फूलो नो सरकार तने.
We also pay tribute to Vittal Bhai, resident of Surat, Gujarat. He was a school teacher at Bardoli. Vittal Bhai took part in the Forest Satyagraha 1930 and was also involved in the Salt Satyagraha April 1930. While participating in the Salt Satyagraha at Navsari, he was fatally injured in a police lathi charge. He was admitted to a hospital at Navsari where he breathed his last on the 23rd of April 1930.
We also remember Rao Singh. Rao Singh was a soldier in the Ludhiana regiment of British Indian Army. He took leading part in 1857 War of Independence against the British rule. He was captured by the British soldiers and charged with mutiny and sedition. Rao Singh was sentenced to death and hanged on the 23rd of April 1858. AIR News salutes the brave martyr.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
Indian grapplers bagged 1 gold, 2 silvers and 2 bronze medals at the Asian Wrestling Championships in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia today. Ravi Dahiya beat Kazakhstan's Karzan Rakhat via virtual superiority 12-2 to win the 57 kg men's freestyle gold. Bajrang Punia lost the 65 kg final 1-3 to Iran's Rahman Musa Amuzad Khalili. Gaurav Balyan lost to Iran's Ali Wakhtiar Savad Kuni in the 79 kg gold medal bout. In the 70 kg bronze medal playoff, Naveen beat local wrestler Temuelen Enktuya. Satyavart Kadian thrashed Turkmenistan Zia Muhammad Saparov in the 97 kg bronze medal match. India has won a total of 1 gold, 4 silver and 10 bronze medals so far in this year's edition of the game. And in IPL cricket, Gujarat Titans defeated Kolkata Knight Riders by 8 runs at the Divi Stadium in Navi, Mumbai. Electing to bat after winning the toss, Gujarat posted 156 for 9 in the stipulated 20 overs. In reply, KKR scored 148 runs for 8 in the stipulated 20 overs. The second match of the day is now underway between Royal Challengers Bangalore and Sunrisers Hyderabad at Bribon Stadium in Mumbai. Bangalore were 65 for 9 in 15.3 overs when reports last came in. Hyderabad won the toss and elected to field. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to participate in the National Panchayati Raj Day in Jammu and Kashmir tomorrow to address all Gram Sabhas of the country on the occasion. Prime Minister to share his thoughts in his Mann Ki Baat program tomorrow morning. The first Lata Dinanath Mangeshkar Award to be conferred on Mr. Modi in Mumbai tomorrow evening. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh says India will not hesitate to cross borders if it is targeted by terrorists from outside. I&B Ministry issues advisory to private news channels to refrain from making false claims and using scandalous headlines. Country registers nearly 6% growth in steel production with 31.9 million tons during January to March this year. In Asian Wrestling Championships, Indian grapplers win 1 gold, 2 silver and 2 bronze medals. And in IPL cricket, Gujarat Titans beat Kolkata Knight Riders by 8 runs in Navi, Mumbai. Second match underway between Royal Challengers Bangalore and Sunrisers Hyderabad at Bribon Stadium, Mumbai. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.